there we are. There's a rough idea. We can, is that set to neutral? It is. Fucking hell, it's bright. Roughly 90 degrees. I guess that's the problem with using the 4-channel one. If these are not quite... Oh no, we've got the swivel to do it. I was about to say, if you have them Y-leaded, they end up, of course, being a bit out of trim. So if it was on 1 and 6 on separate channels on the radio, you can sub-trim each one. But that's roughly 90 degrees. It's as near as makes no difference. Also, I think the blue light on the camera was just swamping it to blurry. I'm going to put that back in the bag. No, I'm going to put these back in this little bag, and for now they can live in this AXN box, which is an ex-Concorde box, because all the little bits of Concorde are now in it. Nothing's really been done on that recently. I will do a bit of an update video on it in due course. Because, well, actually some has been done on it since you've seen it. We've done a lot of sheeting. We've sheeted all over the place. Me and my father. Yeah, my dad helped me out a lot as I went from home working back into the office again. We were concerned that it was getting a bit damaged, so I was like, you know what, I've done the biggest bit of sheeting on this. If you want to help me do like the rest of it, that would be a massive help to save it getting broken, because otherwise when I do have time, if all I'm doing is fixing bits that have been broken over the last 2 weeks or however long, it's never going to get done. Oh wow, that's like, somehow I've jinxed that perfectly. Although there is a bit of a bend in it that I don't like. Should this have been on the other side, do you think? Quite bottom line. That's a bit at an angle. At an angle dangle. What I'm going to do is put that on the other side. So we'll have our doohickey. A favourite kind of hickey. That came out very strangely. And we'll remove this. This is going to be a nightmare to remove now. Well, it certainly went back on a lot easier. Although, have I fucked this up and put it the wrong way around? I have. Oh no. Wait, what? What? Just a bit more how it should be. Oh, that's a bit better. That's more straight. Excellent. Top. Absolute notches all over the place. We'll put the nut back on with the nut driver, and we'll screw it on out. So it still rotates nicely enough. Flex your appendages, ailerons. I have no message on that phone, that's good news. What I'm going to do, if there is some to hand, which it doesn't look like there is, annoyingly, I will have to dig it out because I will do it properly, is... although... I can't actually see anything there, worryingly. Nothing that's quite useful. I'll show you this in case any of you are in the same boat. So my mum used to work as a school cook, and they used to have like frozen ice cream sometimes with the desserts as a dessert, and all of them came with a plastic spoon. but they used proper cutlery, or at least like bigger plastic spoons for the younger ones, instead of those ones that could like shatter in the mouths if they're idiots. So they basically all sat on a cupboard, and Mum would eventually take them home at some point. So they are very useful for epoxies and the like. What I'm looking for is Blenderm tape. I'm choking up because I can't find the Blenderm tape. Okay. And again, because the parents aren't here, I can't estimate where it is. So we'll ignore that for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some like 1-inch Blenderm tape up this edge here, just straighten it up a little bit. Blenderm is like a medical tape. It's the same tape they use for like bandages and things. So it's like a little bit more bendy and flexible while still being able to stick, which is of course very good for control surfaces. Here's a bit of a close-up of what I've done with that. So again, I just poked it through the front hole. Those horns are from Banggood. If you just look for control horns, I guess you'll find them. Or the skew, if you want to look direct off the skew, is 083783-14874930. Feel free to replay that if you want the number again. I'm going to unplug this before it A, drains the battery, and B, blinds me again, like it just did. And this is more or less ready to go in here. So just to show you, that's on second from the top, and that one is third from the top. We can adjust these things, of course, if needed. What I'm going to do now is grab some of the really, really crap masking tape. That says, to be fair, my dad says it's crap. I don't really see what's wrong with it. It masks things. It does what I want it to do. And if you don't know why we're doing this, we're doing this so that if you need to get the servo out in the future, you can sort of cut across the tape and lift it out of the tape. Some people don't like this because if the tape isn't brilliant, which supposedly this one isn't, it can come out. And that's, you know, it can come out of the tape. And that's fair enough, but to be brutally honest with you, I've never had that issue before, and it depends what plane it is. Like this would be fine if you were doing this in, say, a multiplex fun jet or a really fast model. I would probably say, you know what, I'd rather risk, you know, the servo in the, you know, making a bit of a mess of the wing than risk the servo coming out and making a mess of the whole model, or hitting somebody as well. And that's all you need, to be fair. I'd probably do a bit more so it's not quite as obvious, but one layer is fine for what we're wanting to do. And also, the thing is, it's something like a fun jet, you're probably putting in like Servos servos that I've landed. When I mean landed, I mean doing a low pass 40 at like 150 mile an hour, where these have been stuck at the bottom of the wing and it must have hit them and they've been fine. Maybe when it hit the floor, it also rejected the batteries, so they're a bit like flexible so they could get knocked back. But Servos servos really are brilliant. They have like 3, like the SH or whatever it is, 255, the 56 and the 57. And it's something along the lines of the 57 is like only like 2 kilos, so only a little bit better than this, but really fast. Then you've got the 56, which is a little bit slower, but loads and loads of torque, like nearly 5 kilos of torque. So they'd be good for like pan and tilts, where you probably want a bit of extra, you know, making sure that it's going to hold your camera there steady. Well, it doesn't need to be very fast, and of course on like, you know, normal planes that's fine as well. And then the 57 is sort of a bit of a middle ground, so you can do, you know, you can hear which ones you think is baddest. The 56 one, that's the one that's loads of torque but a bit slower, always seems to be a bit cheaper than the other two. So again, depending on the model, something like this, you don't need it that slow because it's not, you know, well, you don't need it that quick because it's only moving that amount. But again, stuff like this doesn't need Servos. Go with the, as I say, they were like £11.99 for 6 of them. So, you know, not even £2 a servo as opposed to £13.50 for the Servos, which are worth it depending on the model. You know, if you're putting it in an extreme flight model where the kit's £300, you know, no, sorry, not £300, but like £200 for a model that size where you put them servos in. You know, I personally don't see the problem doing that. For example, wouldn't put these servos in a mini drac I put either, they recommend some weird size high-techs, which I might already have some of, but if I don't, I may just use the Servos if they're a similar spec, because I have to cut the holes in the wings myself anyway, so I'll cut them to my own custom size. This is going to be a half-an-hour video. I didn't want it to be. I'm very sorry for all you poor people who are still watching this. I'm going to glue that in first. So I'm going to flop that out of the way. Not for the first time. And that's medium. That's thin. Shit. This is thick with a gammy end. We'll use thick with a gammy end, everybody. This is also covered in slime from when I was trying to glue something up a ladder and just got coated in all sorts of like silicone, super glue, goop glue, just to try and make this work. So I'm just coating, you can see what I'm doing, coating the inside of that, and then we can just slap this in the hole like that. Maybe that's what she's a joke. I'm moving it that way so the wing tip is off the end of the bench, because that, you know, tilts up. We can leave that there if you want to. You can of course give it a bit of a squash with the old kick here. You can also use hot glue. You could use pretty much any glue. Something that you have to watch out for as well, it's another good reason why some people masking tape them, is some servos have holes in, which is great for cooling, especially if it's in a wooden model where it's screwed in. But obviously if you're gluing them into a wing, not good, because the glue gets in and gets in the gears. So that's another thing to watch out for, or that you can avoid by using masking tape. So that's in. Last thing what we're going to do, more or less, is clip on our little retaining arm. It's slightly rounded on this side, so that wants to be the one facing up. We're going to just and really ram it down. Another thing that you can use is a pair of pliers, and if you sort of open them either side, you're not gripping the middle tab, you're just using it as something to whoopsie daisy. Try and, oh god, this is okay, a bad demonstration. Just squeeze it in, and once you've made sure you're about happy with how it's lined up and everything, you can just apply a little bit more of your glue. You can really see the gammy end that I was talking about on the back of this, like so. Bit of the old kick-off, and that's holding it on. If you really want to make sure that it doesn't sort of twist, which considering it's in foam, it's possibly a good idea, you can also run a little bit on here and here. I'm going to actually swap out for medium. These glues are from Hobby King, by the way, very cheap. We always used to use the pink Zapper cap. And maybe if I was doing like a multi-thousand-pound plane or a jet, I would use that. Although to be honest with you, we've never ever had any issues with this stuff. And the Zapper cap stuff is like 10 or 12 quid a bottle, I think. It's something ridiculous like that. Now, if we roughly level that up, that is roughly level. It's not quite. We can do all the fine tuning that we need to do once the model's finally assembled. Cable wise, I'm going to feed that there roughly, just so it doesn't, like, if there is a bit of glue on there, it doesn't like glue it in a daft position. And what we would do, of course, if I can find it, it's in the bottom of the box, we are going to at some point fix this. I'm not going to do that tonight. We'll leave it alone. We'll make sure that this servo doesn't get any glue in it or anything left like that, because it is the first time I've glued these in. And now, because, again, in terms of this bar, I said it at the beginning, but we'll say it at the end to cap off the episode. If you want to, you can do the, don't knock me out on the floor. You can do the X-Jet method, which is gluing it into the wing, and then making it so this is taped on, because unless you're doing massive amounts of G's, and he's proven massive amounts of G's by flying at ridiculous speeds in like strong winds and things and not bending the wings, that's all the strength that you need, especially if it's a good glue, like I would use Yoo-Hoo Paul or Goop glue, something like that, a contact adhesive to glue that in. Now, again, because I can't leave this model built up, I mean, if you wanted to, you can maybe glue it in one side, but then it kind of defeats the object, because sod's law would be the one that you glued in or not glued in, depending on what the case may be, that causes the problem. What I'm probably going to do is, you also don't want normal Gorilla Glue because otherwise it will fill this hole here. I'm slightly tempted to lube it up. Just lube it up. Put like some Vaseline or something in, have it in there, and then clamp this over the top. It makes sense that probably when I'm going to do this, I'm just going to run glue past where the cable comes out, that way, up here and down this leading edge here. Leave this undone because that's where the cable is. It just makes it a little bit easier. I know what some people would do even is when this is in, the other way around, when this is in like this, is they would actually cut the channel here. Like most more modern planes would have like the channel coming down here. Which, here's another thing you could do. You can make another channel, but we'll leave that alone. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's one of these things where, you know, if this servo does go dud, we can always take the servo out, leave the wire in, and run a new lead down here and just cut the bit that's sticking out of the end. Obviously, if you wanted a bit more servo lead, you could solder it on or whatever, but that'll be fine. I'll probably have a massive wire lead in the fuselage. If you wanted to, you could make it all very nice and precise. Maybe swap this out for a female lead and have it tucked in there, but that just is complicated. So, in terms of what we're going to do next, obviously we're going to do the same thing but to this wing. I'm not sure whether I'm going to make that as an episode or not, or if I'm just going to do it and show it you once it's done. And then we can decide what we do after that. And again, it's now 35 minutes past 10, of course, because it's about a 35-minute video. Yeah, I may do this wing up to the same point and then start the video as we move to glue these in to show you what I do with that. Because that's basically the wing's done at that point, because obviously there's no stickers to do, they're already on. And then at that point, we're basically looking at, I'm probably going to install stuff in the fuselage first. Again, both so that I'm not accidentally knocking the bi-tube this on things, and also, yeah, so that's not like whapping around and getting knocked on things, and I can lay the fuselage on the side, but it's a lot harder if that's stuck on the proper place and it's sort of stuck in the bench like that. So I can get the motor on, speed controller in, I can get the servos glued inside. I'm still debating what to do on that. In fact, you know what, I'm going to leave that for another video's discussion because this video is far too long. Thank you for watching. If you've managed to somehow make it to the end, say cheese in the comment section so that I know that somehow you've managed to make it to the end. Because I don't really see that. I see an average, but not like number of people who watched like 90% of the video or something like that, which would be nice, but YouTube's too busy making other things rubbish. We'll put these back in the bag for now, I guess, just to protect them a little bit, rather sort of thrown around in a big box that's, you know, they're not taped in anymore. But yeah, like the video if you liked it, leave a comment if you have any comments or any questions or anything like that. If your name is Phil, I will do a 3D printing thing at some point the next time I need some 3D printing. I don't have anything that needs 3D printing. If I can't find it, I will need a camera mount printing for this. So it's not like there's nothing in the works that's going to need it. All these servos can go in this box, the old Concorde box, which is now for AXNs. As you can tell, well, technically it's the old box for the R349 that then became Concorde, which is now AXN. If I actually, no, because the box will probably open if I put it in the big box or everything else. No, we'll put it on the side out of the way. Got the Vortini, of course, to deal with. In terms of the Long Range Sky Hunter and the Dart, they just need like stuff doing at the site, so that's not going to be done. So we've got the Vortini to do. There it is. We've also got there's stuff on the shelf that needs doing. So yeah, like, subscribe if you want to see more comments and stuff. I don't really put it in much of the videos anymore. I should maybe start doing it like at the very bottom of the descriptions. I do have a Patreon that nobody does anything to, and a like a one-off donation thing. If you're interested in that at all, look at the video that has it on. I may just do a new video soon on what that is, and then just link to that video, and then if people want the info, they can grab it. But yes, I don't know why I'm bringing these to censor, because they're not interesting, but there we are. It's something to look at, like and stuff. I'm rambling because it's very late at night, or for me it is because I'm tired as balls. But thank you for watching this almost 40 minutes of shenanigans. Bye bye.